te Kava ke oma Kona kita Pea te whakana noa Whakaanu Ai toke lau ke tong Ke pota kala I loto nuku alofa Turi turi Mai nuka ke tau O ewa iye Talabaha akolo Tuku siki Oke whakawhanu mo Fui fui aku Kapa imo heofo Te kibuna Sike te tawa ke oma Kona kita Bea te whakana noa Whakaanu Ai toke lau ke tong Ke pota kala I loto nuku alofa Ave nui O halatu koula Venu kesi Ie bunga moiahi Bongia Ie fasi moia Hengi hengi pea Me matala masani Te buna Sike te tawa ke oma Kona kita Pea te whakana noa Whakaamu Ai toke lau ke tong Ke pota tala I loto nuku alofa Kibuna Sike te tawa ke oma Kauna kita Pea te whakana noa Whakaamu Ai toke lau ke tong Ke pota kala I loto nuku alofa Tuli tuli Mai mua ke tau O ewa iye Baha akolo Tuku siki Oke whakawhano mo Fui fui oku Kapa imo heofo Te kibuna Sike te tawa ke oma Kona kita Pea te whakana noa Whakaamu Ai toke lau ke tong Ke pota tala I loto nuku alofa Ave nui O halatu koula Venu kesi Ie bunga moia I Bongia Ie fasi moia Hengi hengi pea Me matala Kibuna Sike te tawa ke oma Kona kita Pea te whakana noa Whakaamu Ai toke lau ke tong Ke pota tala I loto nuku alofa
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kava podcast after session pod on the Friday, this beautiful Friday night, live out here in San Francisco. As you guys can see, I have a very special guest here tonight, and we're going to have a great interview for you guys. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, but get ready, get your Kava ready. But we're going to have a great discussion and a great interview. And I can't wait to have, I've been working on this guest for a long time, but she's finally here.
A real long time.
A real long time. So, but let's get it.
What are we arguing about?
A man is gonna do what a man wants to do.
Yes, all on your wrist.
you my wife, you no longer my bitch.
Let's get it. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world.
Dripping in Versace. All these other hoes trying to copy.
Women tend to bounce around in relationships. They can't stick and stay in a long-term relationship.
Again, don't agree with this.
So let's say, are you still in it? Are you still in it?
No. So you're basically saying I'm a whore.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
So I just wanted to take the time and make this video to apologize to absolutely nobody. What's up, everybody? Oh, I forgot my camera guy. Give me one second.
I'm ready to drink. It's Friday night.
All right, we back. We good. Just want to make sure my camera guy is on alert. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kava podcast, the session pod on the Friday night. We have a great show planned for you guys. As you guys can see, I have a special guest. We're going to have a great interview that's for tonight's pod. But as always, thank you so much for everybody that's watching. As always, I appreciate you guys, to all my subscribers and supporters. If you love the content, you see value in the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay? Don't forget, this is a public show. So a lot of you guys know that if you are part of my locals, if you guys are part of my locals subscription community page, you guys can jump on the last 30 minutes of the pod if you have specific questions, or if you want to join us later on at the last part of the pod. So the subscription, the locals link is posted on the description of the video. So just go in the description of the video. You guys can see the link for the locals. Sign up and become a subscribing member, supporting member, and you guys be able to see the link, and you click on that link, and you guys be able to join us and jump on the pod. If you have any questions for me, if you have any questions for our special guest for here tonight, you guys can ask her, and we're able to have a conversation with you guys. And don't forget, this is a live show, so always appreciate you guys always watching and tuning in. If you guys, let's get that live chat popping. Let me know what you guys think. And of course, show some love. If you recognize the guest, or if you have love for the podcast and the content, show some love on the live chat. But let's get that live chat popping. Don't forget also, if you have something to say, if you guys want us to hear something that you have to say based on the conversation that we're going to have tonight, drop a super chat. I'll be able to read it and respond to you guys, and you guys can be able to be part of that. But nevertheless, we'll go right into it. I'm excited to have this great show for you guys, but let me turn to my special guest, Boss Lady. Thank you so much. It's been a long time coming. We've been working on this for a long time, but now you're here. But before we get things started, we have to bless the studio, because this is the first time that I've had a door to be part of my Kava Club podcast. So I'm blessed for tonight. The first time we'll have a door for tonight. But let's get some Kava flowing in our veins, and then we can go right into the interview. Okay. So do you want to?
Left-handed, so bear with me.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
Don't spill it.
All right. Appreciate it.
You don't want no more?
Yeah, give me a whole cup.
I know that's right.
Okay, there we go. I gotta get the whole cup for Lissy, if Lissy's watching this right now.
You want more? Okay. I should point myself. I might.
Okay. All right. So as always, like we always start the podcast, we can offer some words of endearment, and then we're gonna raise our cups. So for me, just a backstory of everybody. Tuki, I've been hitting up Boss Lady for a long time, trying to get here. I know she's a busy woman. I know she got things to do, but it's been almost a year?
Yeah.
Almost a year when I first contacted you, and you were on my virtual pod. So I'm just very grateful, and it took some persistence along my way. So my words of endearment is, if you are persistent, you will get it. But if you are consistent, you will keep it. Okay, and then pass it back to you. What's some words of endearment for you?
Cheers to new levels of elevation.
All right. Olfato. Okay.
Olfato.
Let's get some drinks. All right.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need a whole nother.
Okay. Oh, that's the first time I've drank a whole cup
Oh my bad.
in the beginning. But, all right, but I gotta keep it going. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys. So tonight's gonna be a full interview. Boss Lady Wit has decided to come here and join me in San Francisco, and obviously we're gonna have an opportunity to hear her story, and her transition in going into the adult content industry. Okay, but let's start it off. Boss Lady, thank you so much for making the time. I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the podcast. But let's get right into it.
First date, kind of nervous.
How you feeling right now? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Thank you for having me.
No, I know you had to catch a flight,
Yeah, I did.
and you made it down here,
Yeah.
and now we're here. Okay, so our first one, you have a very interesting story. You're a Tongan girl. You grew up in America, and you transitioned and went into the adult content industry. So that's why I'm excited to have this conversation with you. It's something that you don't rarely see among Tongans, especially the industry you're in. But I want to start just from your childhood. So what was it like for you growing up as a Tongan girl here in America? Like, what was your experience?
I felt like I had a great upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I grew up with all brothers. Then my parents both got divorced. Let me see. I didn't grow up with like that much trauma. I mean, we all come from dysfunctional families, but yeah, I feel like I'm technically at like 1.5 Tongan American. Like, how people say, "Oh, you're the first generation." I feel like technically I'm like kind of like 1.5.
Is your parents, both of them, full Tongan?
Yeah.
Okay,
Tongan.
so you're full Tongan. Okay.
Yeah.
So growing up, obviously this is on the Fridays we always have conversations about the experience of Pacific Islanders, and we're both Tongan. I mean, growing up in America as a Tongan girl, like, what are the challenges of growing up? Like, was your parents like traditional? Were they very into the culture? Were they super traditional when they raised you growing up as a Tongan girl?
Yeah, I felt like, now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, like I grew up really in a strict household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your like challenges as a Tongan girl?
My challenges?
Yeah. What was it like? Trying to
all that when I'm thinking back to it,
Yeah.
I think all my challenges was just like don't wear makeup, shorts have to be long, like to your knees. Yeah. Whakapapa, stuff like that. I don't feel like I had big challenges because
I think some of the conversations I always have with a lot of Tongans is, especially us, the new generation and the younger generation, is trying, especially if you grew up traditional and you grew up in a very cultured Tongan strict household, is trying to keep the culture and the Tongan tradition and still adapt here living in America. Because the American culture, what we go and see at school in the outside world, is a lot different than what we experience from how our parents are trying to raise us. And for us trying to balance both, that can be a little difficult. Like you just mentioned an example, like makeup.
Yeah.
Right. In America, that's normal for a girl to wear makeup. But depending on your parents, that may be too much. And they may not like that you as a woman wearing makeup. So that's what I mean about like those nuances and those challenges of just being a Tongan girl and just trying to live here and try to keep the culture, but at the same time, you're trying to live a normal American life. Like, what was that like for you?
I feel like that's a mental thing. Like, if you can balance, I feel like it built character growing up. Because now I'm like, okay, as an adult, I feel like I'm happy my dad told me not to wear makeup. Because like there was a time he was like rubbing the makeup off and gave me a black eye.
Yeah.
He's like, don't wear makeup. And now I still like, I don't wear makeup. I'll just wear lipstick as an adult. So I feel like it just depends on your mindset, how you take your hardships, growing up. So I might complain about like how I grew up, but I feel like, I don't know, I self-reflect a lot on it. And I feel like I'm just grateful for the upbringings, know? especially the Tongan tradition upbringings, because I'm like, that makes me who I am today. That makes me stick out when I'm like in entertainment. So I get what you're asking. Like, how is it to balance it?
Yeah.
And like, it is challenging. But it's really how you take it on your mindset.
What about your mom? Because I know your dad, but what about your mom?
My dad's way more traditional. It's my mom. See, that's why I say technically my upbringing is different because my mom was born on like American soil, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so like she grew up where her dad was like a pastor, and he said like speak English. Like they used to get beat to say you can't speak English, you know, at home. You have to speak English at home. So that's why I'm saying it's like very different. So like I felt like my parents raised us, me and my siblings, like, okay, we're gonna do certain things where, hey, we're gonna, you know, go against the grain. Like I didn't grow up in church, because people always ask me that too. Like, did you grow up in church? I mean, I'm the number one church visitor. I'm the number one church visitor. I'm going to all the churches. Yeah. So yeah.
So your parents didn't have a siasi? Didn't have a church?
My dad did. My mom did.
What was their church?
My mom's SDA, and then my dad's Wesleyana. So yeah.
Wesleyana.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad was SD what?
No, my mom's SDA, Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, 7 days.
So yeah, they're going. Yeah, so I think it was cool.
They didn't encourage you to go to church?
No, my grandma bribed me though to go to Falakai.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least I'm being honest.
Yeah.
My grandma, thank you. Shout out to my grandma though.
Oh, I mean your grandma encouraged you, but your parents, usually Tongan parents, they encourage low-key force you to go to church.
I felt like my parents only forced me if the grandparents are forcing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, like realistically, like sometimes our parents, like they know about church drama or things going on where the environment's not cool. And, you know, I feel like that's what I went through. So my parents are like, no, you guys don't need to go to church. Oh, yeah. My dad will read Bible verses and stuff like that all the time, make us, stay at home on Sundays.
Oh, he didn't want you guys to go to church?
Unless grandma went, then we all going.
Okay. And how did you feel? And how did you feel about that? Of most Tongans, they go to church and you didn't have to.
I felt like, you know what? I like that I didn't grow up getting forced to go to church.
Why?
Because then I wanted to go to church on my own, free will.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I started going in high school with my friends. Yeah. And like we're going to like all these events. So yeah.
Were you curious about it? Going to church, like, building some kind of spiritual connection with.
I felt like I was curious about it. Like, I want to know what everyone else is learning and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool though. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel like looking back at it now that if you went to church and if you didn't go to church, would it make a difference?
I feel like maybe.
Yeah.
It depends.
And what's her spiritual relationship now?
I feel like God got me. Like I don't need to go to church every weekend, because I feel like I go to different churches too. Yeah. And then I was like, I like going to Uli Uli churches. Like it's cool. Well, yeah, that's when I started going. It was in high school. Yeah. To the Black folk people church.
Why you like to go to the Black folks church?
I think it was just because like I love music too. So I felt like I understood, and it only sucks because of language barrier. Yeah. That was the only reason. If I knew Tongan, I'm like, okay, like I know what they're saying. Yeah. So yeah, like other than that, I mean, I love our culture. I love the churches and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's just, sometimes I was always falling asleep in church. Falling. I'm known for napping. So it's like, girl, you sleep everywhere you go.
You be sleeping in church? Mm-hmm. Damn. They ever catch you?
Yeah, I used to get slapped.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, it wasn't the culture and the traditions wasn't something that you really thought of. Your parents was more like just let you be.
No. We're not gonna say that before they come over here and slap me. My mom down the street. They're down the street. They're gonna come pull up and slap me. No.
So what was the things that your parents were very strict on, and they wouldn't? They made sure that you had to follow.
It was really like gender roles. Like, like gender roles, like this is what girls do. Like my dad taught me how to like cook and clean at a young age. Like this is what the girls do. And this is what the boys do. This is how you dress. This is how you don't dress. Okay. I really wanted to wear a muumuu.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You said no. See, like I think that's why I started realizing some habits I have as an adult. Like I definitely like to be covered up. Yeah. It just depends. Like if we're swimming, or going to the club, then I'm gonna dress differently. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like that's affected my adulthood.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel like the Tongan culture is definitely like in me. You know,
Yeah.
just it's differently. If that makes sense.
What are parts of the Tongan culture today, like currently right now, that you still keep?
Humility. Yeah, humility.
Humility.
Yeah, I always say that.
Okay.
You know why? Because when I go out into the real world, different countries, I'm in different countries, right? And they always say, "Oh my gosh, I like love your culture, your people." And I was like, "It's our attitude that gets us way further." Because our love language is we're givers, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
We're giving
we're
people.
definitely giving friendly people. But humility is one of the 5 pillars I was taught, like, okay, this is something that I realized sometimes I had to like be quiet on certain things because there's sometimes I want to be real disrespectful with my mouth. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta like be quiet. And yeah, so humility is one of my favorite things about being Tongan.
You said 5 pillars.
I don't know the 5 pillars. Don't do that. I knew that. The one pillar that stuck with me was humility.
No, I don't even know the 5 pillars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You lived the thong. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Like I could have sworn like that's what they was 5 pillars.
No, I've heard of the pillars. I think I had a podcast before with Nessie. I believe it was Nessie. Nessie, if you're watching this right now in the live chat, drop it on the live chat what the 5 pillars are. But yeah, I don't know the 5 pillars. I had a podcast a long time ago with a guy he mentioned it. He broke it down, but I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
But you mentioned humility.
Yeah.
I have an interesting opinion about it. I think the reasons why I don't have a problem with humility, but I think our people take that to the extreme.
You think so?
Yeah.
For real? I don't think so.
No, I think our people take it to the extreme that it hinders them because into leveling themselves up to be more successful and to be better in life. Because in order to be successful, you have to stand out. So I think sometimes people are afraid to be successful and to overstep over everybody and shine.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Humility in that instance.
In that, right. But I think sometimes when people think that we see somebody becoming better in life, a lot of Tongans will criticize that person. Oh, look at that. Like he wants to
talking that shit.
Yeah, he wants to be something. Like who do you think you are?
Yeah.
So I don't think about there's a best way I'm trying to frame it the way I see it. I think that humble is okay, but it's also okay to believe that you deserve everything in life, and if you work for it, you deserve better than everybody else if you're willing to work for it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think sometimes our people can be take the humble.
They dim their light.
They dim their light.
Yeah.
But in order to be successful, you have to shine your light, and don't worry that if my light's too bright for anybody else, that's your problem. That's not my problem.
Right.
If you have a problem with my light, then maybe you're not supposed to be in my room. That's it. You should go to a different room.
Right.
Because I'm going to shine. Right. Like, do you ever think about that?
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Because me and the lifestyle I live right now, I do stick out.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying. But I don't think I use humility. Sometimes I think I grew up with, since you're asking about my upbringing, I grew up with like good attention, bad attention, all of it. So as an adult, there's people really like, wow, we're surprised you don't like the attention. I was like, no, like sometimes it's annoying.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with having attention, but sometimes it's like overwhelming.
Yeah.
They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, that's what I like to talk about. Like how attention just gravitates towards me, and sometimes I just want to be left alone. Like I'm a popular loner. Like people know me and stuff like that. I can interact, but sometimes I just want to be at home in my bed sleeping,
Did you ever experience that growing up? Like you were about getting people criticizing you for standing out at a very young age. Like, did you ever do something maybe in sports or in school to kind of stand out?
Jock. Yeah, so I grew up a jock, like being in sports and like AP classes, stuff like that. Yeah, I always stood out. Yeah, you know what? Poly girls used to hate me. Damn. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, yeah. I did always stand out. Like I'm always like really bubbly.
What would they say?
That I'm bubbly, like I'm too nice.
You're too nice?
Yeah, they'd be like, you too nice. And then once they get to know me, they're oh shit, like you're really nice. Like it's just who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks because I'm like, I feel like that's part of being Tongan. Like everyone gives. You see all the OGs you're around give, like be cool. And like I get it, the real world like makes us like be mean, be cruel to people. I'm like, not me. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
let bad shit that happened to me affect how I'm gonna treat other people.
Yeah.
Or talk, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also the giving part. I think also our people take the giving part to the extreme as well.
What do you mean giving what? Like money? Time?
Everything. Food.
Right.
No, because I believe that before you can help other people, you have to help yourself
You gotta be
first,
selfish.
right?
Oh, that's what I'm doing this year.
Not selfish, selfless,
Yeah.
right? But I don't have. I love our culture. I love our people. I love how we have our very collective, and we depend on each other and we help each other out, especially through hard times what people go through, funerals or something happens. We have a great ability to come together and collect our resources and help each other out.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do believe that we forget the concept of we have to take care of ourselves first before we help other people.
Yeah.
And sometimes people would overhelp and overgive what they have, and they have nothing for themselves and their family.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen families like that in the Tongan community where they suffer, but they look like they're doing good because they're giving so much, especially in church, right? They're just throwing that money in the mistinale or the church function. 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. But in reality, they're
You need side meaning.
and barely paying the rent and their bills at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are your thoughts about that?
I feel like it really depends.
Yeah.
Like on the family.
Yeah.
Because I always see my dad give back, but it's when like the family's like, funerals and stuff like that. But I do understand where it's like, oh my gosh, people are giving their last dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had people always ask me for help. And I feel like it depends.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, I can help you in this situation. And then, hey, I can't. Like, I realized you had to pull back. So that's why I say it depends.
What's your rule when it comes to giving? Obviously, I'm sure you're doing really well right now for your life. I'm sure you have friends. I'm sure you have family members.
Yeah.
But what's your general rule of how to make sure that you're not overgiving and you're not allowing people to take advantage of you?
I feel like right now in my life, people aren't doing that because, like, I just keep to myself right now.
Yeah.
Had this been like maybe a couple years ago, I wouldn't have no rule. I would have been naive. But now that I like know better, I've experienced a lot, and the pandemic hit, I'm like, okay, there's times where it's like, no. Like no one has easy access to me. I'm changing my number all the time. Everyone knows I'm texting for different numbers, the flip phone, all of that. Like you just gotta make sure you don't have easy access to yourself. Just hit me up on Instagram.
Okay, so if somebody hits you up.
No, and you want to know why? Another thing about giving, I feel like it's more of a man thing in our culture.
What do you mean?
Because females, like everyone's gonna go to a man. Men are like protector and providers.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, I had my brothers earlier this year. Like my brother, shout out to Mooney. Like he always reminds me, like, sis, I don't want you to get married or just end up with a guy because he's helping you out financially. And since I have men in my family that remind me of that, I'm like, you're right. Like they always like come to us for anything, not just money. If you need someone to talk to, or you just want to like come home and just talk, hang out, go eat. Like family, like all the men in my family, I'd be so happy I could just pull up and do that. Because not everyone has that luxury. Yeah. So I think about that as you're asking me these questions. I'm like, wow, like I'm just happy I really do have men in my family.
Okay. So if somebody just randomly hits you up on Instagram, right? You just say yes?
Someone that I know, or like you saying a stranger?
Well, say somebody both. Somebody you know, or somebody that can be a stranger. Well, maybe not say stranger, but somebody that you do know, but you guys haven't been in contact for a while.
You know what? There's some females that have asked me that I've known them for years, but we don't be in contact, and I've given them. Just because I know how it feels. My mindset, I guess I don't have a rule, but my mindset is sometimes I'm like, just give it back because your blessings will come different. It's not always going to be with money. It might be an opportunity. You might meet someone that might have open doors for you. That's my mindset.
Yeah.
If I'm like, if I can give it, then I can. But if I don't, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Have you ever given where you were suffering and you're on your last dollar and you still gave it anyway?
Yeah, I feel like everyone has.
Yeah.
And then boom, my whole life changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a boss.
Boss lady.
Boss lady.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously right now you're a boss lady.
No, because now you make me think of the times. It's like, I had fun when I was broke. I don't know about everyone else. But then I think it's how you take life.
Yeah.
Because I've been telling a lot of people I'm cool with. I was like, man, there's a lot of people in these streets I used to be cool with. We didn't always need money to be cool with each other. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we can be cool because we spending time together, you know, elevating, like giving motivational speeches. Because I want to be around other people that are trying to change their environment, their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me who your friends are, and I'm gonna tell you who you are.
Oof.
My AP Chem teacher told me that in high school, and I was like, "Oh no!" I still remember that. I was like 15.
No, that's actually true.
Yeah.
Show me your friends. I can show you who you are, and you are who you surround yourself. The 5 people you surround yourself with. I think Eric Thomas, one of my favorite motivational speakers, he said that, "Show me your friends. I can show you your future."
Yeah.
Right. But obviously today, you know, you're living a different lifestyle. You're making money. You're very ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
You're a go-getter. You have the hustler's mentality. Where did that come from?
I feel like I've always had that. No, and you know what? Because I was a young mom. See, yeah, I had kids when I was 19, 20.
Okay.
And I felt like, oh my gosh, this kind of made my mindset like I can't be a bum.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here carrying kids at 9 months, and my dad's like, I gotta get you a whole car. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm like, dang, I appreciate the men in my family are givers, you know? So yeah, I was going to school pregnant. Yeah, I was doing a lot pregnant.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot pregnant. So yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
You know, being a young single mom. What was your?
Oh, I was not single. See, keyword not single.
Okay, you were big at that time. At that time, but so you were a young mom. But what was your parents' reaction when they found out? Because you know,
No, my parents wasn't. You know what? They weren't tripping because I went and stayed with him and his family.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? They were like, you made your bed, now you got to lay in it. And I felt like I always took that, like that. It's my fault. It's my accountability. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I always wanted a family since I was young. Yeah. Yeah. Because my brothers always remind me, they're like, you always played like a young motherly role. I guess that's another thing about being Tongan female, you know, like we're always like, you know, have that motherly instinct. Yeah. You know?
You never received any criticism from your family for being young?
No, my mom, I feel like they did. I feel like a lot of people have criticism towards me, but they won't say anything like directly to me. Mm-hmm. Maybe subliminal messages and stuff. Okay. Trauma riddled. Yeah.
I mean, what about for you? Like,
what?
How did you feel when you found out you were pregnant?
I was so excited.
You were?
Yeah.
There wasn't any...
I wasn't even scared. I don't even know why. Now I think back, I'm like, bro, what was I doing? Like, wait, what was your thing? I was like, man, when you in love, like when you experience love and it's puppy love, you know, your first love and you're having kids and you're, you know, like that mindset. I know you don't have kids, but when you have that mindset and you're just like, you can do whatever you can, like you're not going to stress out. Yeah.
So you just growing up as a young girl, you just wanted to have kids.
I always wanted a family.
And a family and have a husband and live happily ever after. Kind
of like that.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't gonna be like that. Yeah. You know, women always want that, but then it's like life's gonna start hitting us. So yeah.
So what was your reaction when you realized that wasn't going to happen?
Man, I had to like choose myself and think of my kids' future. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, I grew up with divorced parents. Yeah. You know, I grew up with seeing my dad, like, you know, touch my mom and stuff, you know, like abuse, domestic violence. Yeah. So, yeah, like when I went through that, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to let, that's a generational curse. I'm not going to let be repeated when my kids see that, you know? Yeah. Because that has a lot of like long-term effects that people don't even know, you know? So I'm like, I didn't want them to go through that. So I'd rather leave a unhappy home, unhappy situation rather than be 10 years in it and like living a facade, a fake happy life, all because I have kids by someone, you know?
Okay. So your parents were divorced. Was your parents divorced your whole life as a child or?
No, probably when I was like 9, 10.
That's when they got the divorce?
Yeah. I was actually one of the kids that all my siblings was happy. Yeah. It went that way.
Did that have an effect? Now you're grown and you look back at it as a young girl. When you saw your parents get divorced, did that have an effect on how you perceive relationships and men?
Honestly, no.
No?
Because my mom used to say, don't let this affect you.
Okay.
You know, like my mom, that's why I said I grew up differently, because I actually had those uncomfortable conversations with my parents where they sit you and your siblings down. They got to talk about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, being the only girl, like we would have those uncomfortable talks where it's like, are you getting sexually abused? You know what I'm saying? Like those, like I was young and my parents are asking me, talking about it. And I'm like, no, like I had the blessing, you know, that I didn't get sexually abused as a kid or a minor. So yeah, I'm very blessed that didn't happen to me. But I know, you know, those are the few conversations that our parents don't have with us, you know. I feel like in the Polynesian culture.
I mean, that's something that's taboo that we don't talk about, right? The sexual abuse that happens within the family, and we ignore it, or the family chooses to ignore it because it's shameful. It's like a stain on the family name and the reputation, right? So that's pretty cool where your family actually had those conversations, and I think that those conversations are necessary with today's kids.
Yeah.
When, especially online, when things are more open online and they're exposed to more sexual content.
Yeah.
I think we need to have that conversation just to understand, the young kids understand the do's and don'ts and the boundary of what's appropriate sexual behavior and what's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't explain that to your kids, then those predators, the Uncle Bullies, you know Uncle Bully? You know Uncle Bully? From the film?
What film?
Once Were Warriors.
Oh yeah.
The Uncle Bullies in the family. I think it's unfortunate we hear that.
It's really common, not just in Tongan culture, in like all
Pacific Islander culture. Yeah, it happens. I think it happens more than we know because most people don't even talk about it at all.
Or some people don't even know that sexual abuse is going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've had people like talk about it with me. You know, because like that's how suicide rates is going up high. They have no one, they don't, not everyone has a safe haven, you know, like a comfort zone. So I'm very blessed I have that. You know, whenever, anytime I'm going through it, I'm like, okay, like I can go talk to my family about certain things. Okay. That's probably why I'd be single.
Yeah. We need to, let's get another cup in. Let's get another cup in. As always, everybody in the live chat, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys as always. All right. But don't forget, if you have a question, you want to be heard, you got something to say, ask it through a live chat. And then, of course, don't forget, this is a public show. So if you want to jump on at the end and be part of our conversation, I already posted the link on the links on the locals, on my locals community page. So the locals link is on the description of the video. Click on that link. Become a supporting member. You can join me and Boss Lady Wit and be part of the conversation. And let me just ask her. Give me 1 second.
Template as in letting people know she's available. Oh no, I'll be letting people know I'm available. I'll be having options.
I know.
I do be having options. I just gotta be selective. That's cool how they can talk at the same time.
Yeah, but let's get drinking.
Yay.
Yep. That's 2 cups.
I'm gonna need some more cups. Clap, clap.
Yeah, fill up the cup and just be ready for the next one.
Oh, dang. Okay. You want the smoke?
Yeah, appreciate you guys as always for watching. All right.
He said options keep you waking up in the morning. Yeah, you need to make a whole nother.
Yeah. There you go.
So I got a flight to catch. I'm finna be buzzing. Team Fatty.
What's up, Team Fatty?
Y'all downing it like soda. You
For
made
tonight's
this mix
spot.
really good.
Yeah.
Usually I'm picking, I'm like, nah, it's not giving. But I was like, okay.
It's pretty good. The quality.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll save it for the next one.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Also have another question I want to ask you.
Right.
Obviously, you're on your hustler's mindset. You're trying to make money. You're trying to go out there and make things happen. I'm always interested to ask the opinions. Like, why do you think that a lot of Pacific Islanders don't have that mindset?
Because they have the.
Oh,
they-
Tongans. I say Tongans. Why Tongans don't have that mindset?
I just feel like people say they don't give a fuck, but they really give a fuck. And I feel like that's what makes me really stand out because I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You're not paying my bills. You're not tucking me in bed at night. You're not who I'm calling every day. And I feel like if everyone understands and has that mindset, because a lot of my fans ask me that.
Yeah.
Fans, females, like I just went to a women empowerment brunch with Party Wish from Carson. She did one. It was like over 60 Polynesian females, Samoans and Tongans, and Maoris in one room. And it was cool to see them talk about a lot of things, that should uplift our people.
Yeah.
But people really should not give a fuck.
Do you think that's why a lot of Tongans
That hinders people.
That Tongans care too much what people think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those are the times I actually bumped head with my parents, my mom. Like, why do you give a fuck?
Yeah.
Like when I did OnlyFans and a video dropped without my consent.
Yeah.
See, I like you to have, people drop videos without my consent, put it online, then it went viral. Then my whole family's hitting me up, and my mom's like, "Oh my gosh, my family is talking about you in this video," and da 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 da. And I'm like, "Okay, tell them mind your pussy, bitch." And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I made a song on it."
Yeah.
So like I grew up in entertainment. Like my parents are promoters. You know what I'm saying? Like they brought up artists. So I've always been, in music, but behind the scenes. So I've seen them help push off a lot of people's careers. I've seen them help Fiji in the early 2000s. K-Nova, other artists, a lot of good artists, Swiss, people internationally.
Yeah.
So yeah. I felt like my upbringing is very different. See, like I'm one of the few, polys that you meet that like, okay, she grew up in entertainment, so she got a little glimpse.
Yeah.
So I feel like people, because the music, I feel like a lot of people do, as Polynesians, they be caring what other people think about their content. See, like you're different. You don't care what people were thinking because at least you're being you.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to change your content because of what someone said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people always have something to say. And haters are always gonna hate.
Right.
Yeah. What's that old saying? What's that? If you don't have enough haters, your dreams are not big enough.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to ask you. So obviously we're gonna talk about your transition into going into adult content, right? So can you talk about that? How did you transition into that, and was it difficult? Because obviously you grew up, you're Tongan. You have traditional parents who went to church. We bring religion we bring religion into it. So you already know the criticism that people are going to have against you. So I think for a lot of girls, that will, because of that criticism and the shame they will get from their family and from the community, that will stop them from going into adult content. So what made you overcome that hurdle? You know what? I don't care all about that. I'm going to do it anyway.
I think once I just talked to my parents, that's what made me just feel like the hurdle, I jumped over it, because I did track and field. So like, jumping over hurdles, like it was nothing for me. As long as like my inner circle and my siblings didn't care as long as I told them it's coming from my mouth, then like it was cool.
So when you talked to your parents, like what was their reaction when you told them?
Oh my God. My mom was like, I had to say a song because, like that was a language I could say, hey, mom, like you listen to my song. I don't know if you heard that song. It's with Fetty G. It's called Mind Your Pussy, Bitch. And it's just me saying for people to mind their business, like I felt like once my mom heard that, it kind of calmed her down. Yeah. Yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, she understood it. You get what I'm saying? Because there's times where our parents' language, they're not going to understand us. Yeah. So my music was something my parents would understand. My mom would, because she's a promoter. She's always with artists. So once I showed her a song and she's like, oh my gosh, you do music. Like I'm like hitting the whole family. Dang, she does music. She's doing other stuff. Like I'm not just doing what everyone else is doing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I showed her the song. I liked it because I did an 8-bar verse of rapping and then did an 8-bar of singing. Yeah. Because I was just like saying like living in my truth and it's disturbing you. You ain't getting paid to know what I do. Like I was like saying stuff like that, you know. So it was cool.
Did it take you a while to come to make that decision? Like obviously growing up, you probably like did you have any other dreams besides what you're doing right now?
Oh no. Yeah. No, like I'm gonna let people know. So with OnlyFans content and like all that I just did it because I went through a phase. I felt like I needed to go through a phase.
A phase? What can you
Like a
explain that
phase of like physically knowing what I want to go through in life. Like I felt like that's the way you give me the eye. Like I felt like for Polynesian women, I'm gonna be honest, like I be around the homies, so I have like a lot of guy friends. Not like guy friends I'm gonna talk to every day, but like if we link up social settings, I'm gonna have guy talk with y'all. Yeah. And they always say like a lot of them, different races, were like, oh my gosh, we love poly women. Like you guys are like the wildest in the bedroom. I'm like, for real? Like I used to be very naive. I used to be very sheltered. And then once I started doing what I was doing, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a whole world out there. It's really crazy. I love it. Shout out to all the content creators. Because my fans are in New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, and the real islands and here. But like, it's crazy how I get to actually have real adult conversations with a lot of these content creators. Yeah. They're like, we look up to you. Oh my gosh. Like, you don't give a damn. Like, I still have to hide my face. Yeah. You're using your real name. I was like, I know. Like, I just don't care right now. Because at the end of the day, like I said, no one's paying my bills. I'm doing me. Like, I'm really in my own happy bubble.
Happy bubble. Okay. Yeah.
Because there are content creators where I meet where their mind is fucked up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there's too much money going around or there's too much attention and people don't know how to manage that.
Yeah, in my opinion, just from I read about psychology and biology. All right.
Remember I had degrees in that, psychology and behavioral sciences.
So I don't think it's natural for women to be promiscuous and go into the sexual industry.
Yeah.
I think that usually you have to go through some kind of phase or traumatic experience to push a woman to go into
I don't know. I agree with you because I respect women. Yeah. No, I respect the women that do it or that do other type of work because they have to literally have a different mindset to shut it off.
Because most of the women that I know, podcasting who have gone into that industry, it's they've gone through some kind of childhood experience where you kind of put them in that position. Did you have any kind of experience looking back that kind of you had to kind of put you in that position? You know what? I have to go into the sex industry.
No.
Yeah. It was just.
Yeah,
one day you were just.
I was like, I should do it because my content was just me in bathing suits for months.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, oh no, Whitney is not just making content in bathing suits. I was like, yeah, it was. It was cool. I loved it. It was amazing. Yeah. But it was really just to test out the waters because I already had my own name, my own brand. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's test it out for real. Let's see how marketing is gonna go. It went crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, just to see like how much my name, like how much weight my name holds. I was like, wow, it's really different. It's really, crazy when I go into the community and like people were just like, wow, you're in this like entertainment business and your whole life has changed.
So before you were just posting bathing suits pictures,
like
right?
Little thirst traps.
Thirst traps, right? Online, like sexy pictures.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you just out of nowhere, the idea came up that, you know what, I'm gonna go into full nudity and sexual content. Did you think about like, did you weigh out the pros and cons?
I didn't even do that. I should have done that.
Right.
I should have, at least I can say that. I should have done that because I didn't know it was gonna blow up the way it did.
Yeah.
Cause you know me, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like I just got freshly single. Yeah. I was like, this is that one time I should do everything. Yeah, because I'm always in long-term relationships. See, like any man I date wants to marry me. Yeah. But then I was like, you know what? I'm tired of being a good girl. Maybe I should be a bad girl, like Riri,
Yeah. So you made a decision after getting out of a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So do you think that had an impact on pushing you towards that? You just got out of a long-term relationship and life is not really emotionally, probably you're not doing really well.
You know what? No, because like I was in no toxic relationship with him. Yeah. He's actually someone I respect.
Yeah.
I broke his heart. But
damn.
No, because you know what? I learned this quote in 2020. because I've only done it for like 2 years. So I was like, if you don't let that man take care of you, another woman will. And I felt like that's probably where I feel like the culture stopped me, where like we're so used to being independent and doing stuff on our own or going to our families that like, oh my gosh, there's men out there that aren't going to want to date a woman that's like super hyper independent, or like she's always going to her family. She's supposed to come to me first.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what I learned out of that relationship. I'm not going to lie.
You said you were hyper independent.
Yeah, like I never turned to him for things like I should have, you know?
Yeah.
When I self-reflect on that and we talk about it, we laugh about it. It's cool now.
Oh, okay.
Like we talk like, oh my gosh, we're so young. Well, I felt like I was young, like
Yeah.
2 years ago. I was really, really young, naive.
When did you get married? At what age?
19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long did that marriage last?
Man, maybe like 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And the biggest reason why it didn't work out was just you were hyper independent. And you
Oh,
didn't-
no. This is a whole different relationship. The marriage, oh yeah, that ended because I got abused.
Oh,
Yeah, physically.
okay. Oh, that's why you decided to leave. Okay.
Yeah. I had to leave that situation.
Okay. So I have a question for you, because obviously the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because we all live in America.
Mhm.
Tongans, OnlyFans is something that's is starting to grow.
Yeah,
It's a rising industry. A lot of women, it's become a normal industry in America,
definitely is.
right? But I understand in our Tongan culture, it's taboo, right? Especially for the girls, and there's a lot of criticism and a lot of shame that's going to put on women, Tongan girls who decide to go into that industry.
Mhm.
So, from my opinion, I disagree. With the work. I think there's a lot of long-term effects that outweighs the money you're going to make.
Mhm.
But the one thing I would say is I can't knock anybody's hustle.
Right. Hustle, respect, hustle.
Even though I disagree with it, but at the same time, I can't knock how somebody puts food in their table
Mhm.
And feeds their family.
Yeah.
Okay. But the one thing I did want to have with you is, obviously there's going to be Tongan girls living in America, and they might come to a situation in their life and they might want to think about OnlyFans.
Oh no, they all come hit me up. The Samoans, the Tongans. I
Yeah.
always tell them, "Are you sure this is for you?"
Yeah, but what I do see is oftentimes we see the highlights of the OnlyFans industry.
Oh yeah,
right?
because a lot of them want to be strippers
Yeah.
too.
But I think we don't see the lows.
The lows. Oh
right?
yeah, I tell them privately. I'm like,
So, and that's a question, and I think that's where the conversation I want to have. Right,
Yeah.
so where I think that's something that we have to address in the Tongan community. Obviously, there's things in the West, especially in America, that's happening where it's against the culture or traditions of what we're used to, especially
yeah,
religious Tongans. So a lot of times we are very strict on our kids to be on that narrow path, right?
yeah,
But oftentimes, as young people, we make mistakes.
yeah,
But if we don't communicate to have conversation with our kids, then we don't have that that ability where the kids can feel comfortable to come to you as a parent, then they're gonna make the decision on their own.
yeah.
But what I want to achieve for this podcast is if there is Tongans out there that wouldn't want to do it, Tongan girls, I want them to know exactly what they're getting themselves into.
Oh yeah, I be
Right.
they hit me up. I tell them, "Are you sure we want to do this?
Yeah,
Because
so-
your whole family's gonna know."
Yeah,
Regardless if you try to hide your face.
Yeah.
These fans are crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'd be having my own stalkers and stuff like that. That's why I'd be like very low key now. I'd be having it. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about what are the dark parts? What are the dark truths about the adult content industry that girls need to know before making that decision to go into it?
Make sure your mindset's right. Like legitly. Like taking care of your mind is taking care of your life before anything. So yeah, like I said, I have degrees in psychology, behavioral sciences. So my life is different to I can adapt. Like I get to live a double life right now. You get what I'm saying? Like I could step out, be with celebrities, NFL players, rappers. You get what I'm saying? And then I can go right back home and go do normal things, family outings, volunteer work. You get what I'm saying? Like I get to step out. A lot of people don't know how to balance that. And that's where they kind of lose themselves, because a lot of people get sucked into the fast life and you can't pull yourself back out. You're going to do drugs. Drugs are all around. I don't do drugs. So yeah, people, they abuse alcohol real badly, weed. So it's a lot of things like that. And it's your mind. Yeah, people get suicidal. I had to like stop this content creator on live from like literally had a rope on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of things I've had to like witness with people, like a lot of dancers have low days where I'll come to the club and support them during lunch, like, hey, like what's going on? And like money's slow. Like I don't want y'all thinking that like fast money's always there all the time. Like it just different seasons, you know. The money's not always going to be there. So like adult entertainment is like, you got to be consistent. You got to do your own. Like if you really want it, you can get it, but there's a lot of downs to it too. There's cons that people don't talk about, but I feel like it's really taking care of your mind. Yeah.
Do you think the downs, obviously you just mentioned it, right? There's drugs, alcohol, there's exploitation. Obviously you're going to meet some people that might assault you, take advantage of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Obviously, we understand also your reputation is going to be scrutinized. People won't look at you the same way. Yeah. It might affect your relationships with the family. It might affect your relationships with applying for other jobs, right? Do you think that it is? Do you think from the long-term gain, like, do you think it's really worth it to try something out? Because I was reading something online that just like any other industry, OnlyFans only like probably the top 5% that actually make money. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the girls who are in the industry, they don't make a lot, or they barely don't make any money. Yeah. Right. So is it worth? I'd be
like, what are you doing? I'd be telling all these guys and girls that come to me, I say, if you don't have your own name or you don't have a following, please don't come over here and try to ask me how to help you. Yeah. I had to turn people away just so I'm saving you time and saving me time. Like, I'm not going to lie to you and be like, you can do it. You get what I'm saying? Because there's going to be people out there that want you to come do it, lose yourself, do this. Like, no, like if you're coming to me in a desperate situation, like I'm going to look out for you and say, this ain't for you. Because there's girls that are young and I'm like, girl, you barely, I did this at a late age. I'm like 20, I did it at 27, 28. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. A lot of girls are doing it at 18, 19, 20 before they can go to the clubs. You get what I'm saying? So when people send me my way, like some of my homies are like, hey, wait, I'm gonna send someone your way. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a conversation. Like, and I respect men that do that. Yeah. So they're like, they get it from a female's point of view. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Because I like to look out for people, because I didn't do that. I just did it. Like, hey, let's test this out, But there's a lot of people. I told them, like, if you feel like you're doing this because you're desperate or just because everyone's saying you make money off of it, like, please don't. Like, you need a whole brand of following. You need, you actually need a name. Like, some people are just doing it for clout or fast money. So I'm like,
What about let's bring up the conversation with the morality part. Morality. So right or wrong. Right? Do you think, obviously for most people, and I also believe this as well, I think it's wrong, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of consequences, and I think it's going to put women in a very hard life. Yeah. Especially for all the things we just listed about the dark truths. Yeah. Right. And I think most women who go into that, and I explained it before, it's they've gone through some kind of traumatic experience early in their life that kind of put them into a position where they had nowhere to go but they felt like that was the only option they had to go, and unfortunately a lot of girls pursue that. Right. So what's your perspective of when it comes to like morality? Like did you ever battle with that when you first made that decision? Like, did you feel like, this is something that feels inherently wrong and I'm losing a part of my soul when I'm doing this every single day? Obviously, we just talked about
someone I really respect
building relationship with God, right? We talked about that before. Like how do you interpret all of that, and how you feel about yourself, and is this something that's really good for me, not only from the physical end but also on the spiritual end?
I feel like I get what you're asking,
Yeah.
but I felt like, again, like I said earlier, I felt like I needed to go through this little phase.
Yeah.
Like, even though people are like, do you think you regret it? I'm like, I'm not going to regret anything I stand on, recorded, have done. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I needed to experience it because, I'm single. I should do, what single people are doing, kind of see what other people are doing, like casual sex.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is how it feels. Like, I get what you're saying because not a lot of people feel good after they have casual sex.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I understood because I always was curious. So now I'm like, okay, I know how it feels. Like, honestly, like, like being adults, doing what adults do. Because I think that's what
Oh, okay. Did you ever, at some point in your career so far, did you ever feel that way? Where you felt like that there's something inherently wrong with what I'm doing? No?
No, not like wrong. Because someone said, you your daddy's son. It's like, I'm like, someone said, yeah, you're going through your like little city girls phase or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I felt like people that actually know me, they're like, damn, we don't act like this. Like some people, like, I feel like you needed to go through this before you actually really settle down.
Yeah.
Like even my exes, they're like, yeah, I feel like it's okay that you go through this.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's okay. Like, I feel like I needed to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to regret anything, but I do understand what's like, what you're doing is wrong. It's against what you grew up on. And I'm like, but yeah, I wasn't sending my nudes in like high school. I mean, I know most of my peers were doing that. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
So at least I get to do it when I'm consenting. I'm an adult and I'm going to stand on my actions. But I know it is wrong. Like I get why people say it's wrong and so against the culture. But I'm like, hold up. Like all these polys are freaks. How you think we got over 10 siblings and 50 uncles and aunties? You get what I'm saying?
You think it's just love? Maybe not freaks.
What are you talking about? My aunt did a whole genealogy, like family history book, a family tree. It took her a lot of years. And I noticed there was like a lot of half siblings, infidelity. When you do the family tree, I was like, that was so common.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Also,
polys be freaks. They be freaky.
I do know.
No, like all my homegirls, they're like, I want me a Tongan, I want me a Samoan, sis, hook me up. I'm like, girl, why you want them? They're like, oh, because they some freaks. I'm like, that's crazy.
Now I saw something. I saw something on Twitter. I was reading it. It was hilarious. It was somebody posted, we never see our parents be affectionate towards each other, but then boom, 10 kids.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
It's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
I also want to ask you this question because these are things I want people to think about. I know you're a mom. One of the things I do believe in as I don't have kids, but something I do think about often if I do decide to have kids is I do believe that our responsibility as a parent is to make sure that we don't pass on our struggles to our kids, that we give them a better life than we had. Okay. So have you ever thought about how your actions today as being in the adult industry, do you ever think about how that's going to impact your children and also the example that you're exhibiting for them to see? And do you think that is that type of example that's going to help your kids have a better life or that's going to cause them to have more issues in their life because of what you're doing right now?
I feel like I've been prepared for that conversation because there's times where my daughter would see me like in a bathing suit and she'd be like, you shouldn't be in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
And I cried.
Yeah.
I cried. It was like a time last year I was with her and I cried and I was like, what? Because now she's 9 and I realized she was having insecurities on weight and how to dress and how to look that I didn't have at 8 or 9. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Because now social media, parents, like everything's like affecting our kids and how they think.
Yeah.
And I knew, I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel beautiful in my bathing suit, like even though I might be thick and, we're used to the standards of girls in size 0 or 2 wearing bathing suits. I'm like, I'm still going to wear a bathing suit. So I do see where it does affect my kids, especially because like I went through a whole beef on TikTok. Like if you know, I went through a whole beef this year on TikTok with my kid's dad. Because they're always trying to paint this facade that I do OnlyFans and stuff like that. But when in reality, OnlyFans isn't my full-time everything. It's just a facade. I make social media my bitch. I'm not going to be social media's bitch. Yeah. And I've used it to my full advantage. You get what I'm saying? Like I get to do interviews. I get to meet other people. I've given back to the community. I've done network parties within the past 2 years. I did a donation drive for Tongan last year when we had the hurricane. I've changed people's careers too. I've helped, like that's why I felt like a lot of people are curious about what I do on OnlyFans, but they know there's deeper meaning behind who Boss Lady Wit is. You get what I'm saying? They're like, Winnie probably doing OnlyFans and stuff, and it's probably a whole facade. You get what I'm saying? And I felt like I got to use it to my advantage.
Okay. You don't in your mind that you don't think that, because growing up, like if you would have asked me growing up as a kid that if I saw my parents' sexual content, I think that would have some kind of
awkward.
I think that would traumatize me a little bit, right? To be honest. But now your content is out there. We had this. I think that's one of the things that's often the conversation. Right? I understand that you have to make money.
Yeah.
Right. But there's other ways to make money, and even though OnlyFans and making sexual content is usually an easier path, I think the biggest criticism that we have for people who decide to go on OnlyFans to have children is
there's so many couples out there. I don't want people to think there's so many couples, so many parents that do adult content. It's crazy because I didn't think about it. So I started meeting couples. I was like, oh, dang, you guys got kids? They're like, yeah, like lots of them have kids, happily married. Like, I feel like it really depends.
Well, we haven't seen the long-term effects of how, because this is still a new industry. This is something that's still new. But if you ask most people that if you saw your parents have sex, that would traumatize most people. It's going to affect you mentally, emotionally, right?
Right.
So, and I think as a parent, if our responsibility is to make sure that we give our kids a better life, we don't pass on things that's going to make their life a lot harder.
Yeah.
The biggest criticism would be that would kind of make you kind of like a selfish individual because you're putting your needs of yourself over what's best and good for your family and for your children. Like, have you ever thought it from that framework?
No, I have.
Yeah. And how do you like what's your justification for that to keep going if you know that there's going to be a big effects that's going to happen?
I feel like I don't have justification now that you're asking me that.
Yeah.
But I've had those uncomfortable conversations where my daughter's like, my dad told me you shake butt for money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and I'm talking with her and I'm like, what? And then like, oh yeah, my dad's showing me your Instagram. Like it hurts. Yeah. It does. I'm like, why are kids being an adult business? That's how I told her. I was like, when you're an adult, we can have this conversation as long as you want. But you're young. That's how I literally talk to her. Yeah. You're young. Go worry about what kids are worrying about, But when an adult puts it into a child's head, I think it's very different. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Like if like my kids were to see that online, I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you guys even having access to that? That's why I like my OnlyFans content, because you got to be an adult to even go through it. But I get what you're saying. I know I'm thinking of all the consequences. I am. Yeah. And I just, like I said, I'm always ready for the uncomfortable conversations because I'm comfortable being uncomfortable.
No, I understand.
But that's what my answer is. Yeah. Is that?
And also I appreciate you having this conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Even though
you've been waiting a whole year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be open-minded and open-hearted with our whole conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, and why I appreciate you having this open conversation is, obviously I disagree. I disagree with it, and I have my own opinions about it. But I'd rather have the conversation than not have the conversation at all. All right. And I do believe by doing this podcast with you, obviously the girls out there that's watching this right now, they're going to have to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
But I do want to make sure that they fully understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes social media, they just show the highlights.
Yeah, they're just doing a facade.
But they don't really show like
they ain't showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
The dark truths.
Because I've had on my OnlyFans, I was sharing whole content, like where it was not just adult content. It's me doing poetry. It's me talking shit. It's me talking about my kid's situation with the kid's dad. Yeah. And my fans went crazy because they knew I needed a lawyer at one point. And they pitched in. And that's why I always respect anyone who's ever subscribed to me, ever pitched in, ever sent any love, money, or words of encouragement. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
For real. Because I always tell people, like, you changed my life in so many ways, not just mine, but other people. You know, pay it forward.
Okay. Also, I want to ask you this. Is what you're doing right now is something that you would encourage your daughter to go into?
No.
Okay.
Because you know what I do. She know what I really do in life.
All right. So do you think that as a parent, our duty and role is to give our kids the best example?
Yeah, of course, give the best example. I feel like the way she found out was like not from my mouth, so it sucked. You get what I'm saying? Like I didn't have that luxury to have a sit down talk. Like, and I told my kids that, like, you just robbed our kids of their innocence. You get what I'm saying? Because I was like, I remember growing up watching BET, MTV, VH1. Like my dad would be like, you guys can't watch that. You know, like I started learning. Like I had to wait till I was older. You know. Yeah. So it's just stuff like that. Like, I feel like I am a good example. Because like I said, social media, it's a facade sometimes.
Well, the counter to
no, but you get what I'm saying? Because it's like Young Miami. See, like Carisha Please. Like there's people that could be rappers, Cardi B, entertainers. But when they go home, they're, you know, you're going home to your family, you're living a whole different life. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Even I'm living in the spotlight too. You know, like people all over the world in the poly community are like, wow, wait, how do you maintain that life? I was like, you gotta live a balanced life.
But what the critics will say about, if you want to be an example for your kid, but you're not going to encourage your kid to go to do what you want, then by definition, that would be, you're setting up a bad example. If you don't want your kid to do what you want to do, because if it was a good thing, then you would want your kid to do exactly what you're doing. But if you don't feel comfortable enough to encourage her to do the same thing you're doing, then there's something. There has to be a conversation between good or bad. Then maybe you inherently know it's not good, because if it was really good, then you would encourage her, like the
morality
standpoint, right?
Because I understand what you're asking. Yeah.
So have you because I've had conversation with OnlyFans content creator like this, right? It's like well, what do you think about that from that perspective? I feel like if my kids or my nieces and nephews came up to me and they wanted to do that, I'm like, why? I feel like I'm gonna ask why. Like if it's because of money and stuff like that, like I would say no, don't do it. You know, like I understand where you're coming from with the morality. Yeah. But because if you really felt good about it, then it'd be no issue.
I feel like it'd be the same with rap, because I do rap and I'm talking about minding your pussy, bitch. Like I'm saying explicit shit. So like I feel like it's the same thing. I'm like, when kids and nieces and nephews are asking me like, I want to be a rapper like you, or I want to do music like you, it's the same thing. Yeah. And sometimes I said, well, you know, there comes a time like I feel like I'm an adult. I could do this. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can justify is like, I'm an adult. I could do this. This is based off real life experiences. I'm not living someone else's life. Because, you know, I feel like that's what's getting kids in tune. Like kids want to do it because other people are doing it. You know, they're good parents. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. They're mimicking what we're saying and doing. So I feel like, it just really depends. But I wouldn't tell my daughter.
The rap, the rap thing would be different, right? The rap and the music, that's different. But the adult OnlyFans content creation, I think that's the big one where it's most concerning for most people. Yeah. Right. So,
because whatever the situation was different, what if like these kids are married and stuff? I'm like, dang, like I'm not gonna force you to stop doing something. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I really am good at minding my business.
Yeah. If your daughter came up to you, this just came up to my mind. If your daughter came up to you and asked you, "Hey, mom, this is really hurting my life. Can you please stop and do something else?" Like, would you?
Oh yeah, it'd be easy.
Would you stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I basically don't really do it anyways. That's why people are like, wow, Whitney's just getting subscriptions. I'm like, yeah. That's why I said, like, I have a good branding and marketing behind my content, you know, my brand. Yeah. That's why I'm cool with what I do, where I'm at in life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, because I just didn't want you pushing this whole agenda that like today, my whole life, like I'm just do OnlyFans.
Oh no.
No, I just had to clear that.
No, that's
like,
good.
oh no, like
So let's just
I am an experienced person though in it.
so just to make it clear.
Sorry, yeah. Before everyone's confused.
So just to make it clear, to be fair, so I know you're a rapper, you're a singer.
Yeah.
OnlyFans, is OnlyFans something that you do off and on, or it was a one time, but then you stopped doing it?
Yeah, it was more like off and on. Like now I'm just making money just off subscriptions.
Yeah.
Mostly. Basically, yeah. Because that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this for me.
Yeah.
Because some of them know like I'm in school full time or that I'm doing other stuff in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people want to be discreet too because they don't want me knowing like their information or Cash App or Apple Pay. So they like send money through OnlyFans where they can be discreet and save their name.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. As always, appreciate you guys on the live chat. Thank you so much. Don't forget, if you got something to say, ask it through a Super Chat donation. And I appreciate you guys always watching. And of course, if you guys want to join and be part of the podcast, you guys can join by being a supporting member on the locals. And you can definitely jump on and be part of the podcast for the last 30 minutes. Okay. But yeah, let's get another Kava cup in.
Not that once they go black, they never go back.
Okay.
No, my first boyfriend was black.
Oh yeah, your first one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm only gonna drink half of this. And I'll finish.
That was a good mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready for the smoke.
You ready for the smoke?
Yeah, I need something that makes me want to slap you or something. Dang, I felt like he was Dr. Phil for a minute.
No, it's
but I understood where you was coming with.
No, I know. I understand that you're having
I was like, Carisha, please.
having this open conversation. having this open conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to talk about how this affects you. I mean, we talked about how that affects your kid.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing before I want to talk about dating and relationships, how that affects you. But one of the things that we always talk about is like accountability, right?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest criticism that we always that people go into the sex industry is either they don't know better because they're naive and young, so they go into the industry having no idea what they're getting themselves into, right? But eventually you learn what the industry is and how the negative consequences and the dark consequences, how you can really affect your life and destroy you from the inside in, especially when it comes to children. But if accountability is something that is a good value to have, for you, how you interpret to make sure, like, you know what, because the biggest criticism is the one thing about making money, making money and being successful. There's a term that people would say is making money is good. I have nothing about making money, but sacrificing morality for making money, that would be the biggest criticism for people who go into that industry.
Yeah.
Like what's your thoughts about that? Like, you know, right or wrong, doing good, doing what's right, even though doing good will be a little bit harder than going into the sex industry.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I never had bad criticism.
Yeah.
The only criticism I ever got was from like my kid's dad.
Yeah.
Like I never had someone tell me to my face, like, or online, like with their real name, tell me like what I'm doing. Like I honestly thought when I was gonna come out with OnlyFans first, I thought I was gonna get dragged left and right.
Yeah.
That never happens. I was ready for the smoke. Real life. 2 years ago, I was like, I'm ready for the smoke. I'm ready for anyone to come drag me and I'm gonna defend myself.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But then I was like, dang, I don't really have haters. That's crazy. Yeah. Like, you know, when you're expecting the worst and then that actually didn't happen, I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe what worked for me is not going to work for everyone else, though. You get what I'm saying? Because like I said, I had my name already. You get what I'm saying? People knew me. They know my personality, you know? So I feel like that worked differently for me versus someone else that's, hey, they're doing it and they have all this drama. Because I met a lot of Polynesian women where their drama is so bad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, sis, I never had that drama. They're like, really? I'm like, girl, I don't. Like, the only drama I ever had was just like family situation that I spoke on earlier. Other than that, no.
Okay.
So yeah.
I had a conversation with a girl in a previous podcast where she was in that industry, and then she talked about how over time, you kind of eroded herself from the inside internally, how she perceived herself, how she felt about herself, about also her soul.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever experience that at all?
No.
No. Do you think that you might later on or no?
No.
No.
The reason why, like I said, is my mindset. My mind is very powerful.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I might cry, get sad about stuff, like when it's family, personal stuff. But when it comes to morality or how my perception is on myself, on what I've done in the past, the past is dead to me. And I feel like people in our world that we're living in, like, if you keep using the past on people and stuff like that, like when guys come up to me and they're trying to date me and they talk on their past, I'm like, man, the past is dead. Like, I'm not going to use that against you. Because people use that in real life conversations, relationships, families. Like, they're like, oh, well, you did this. And da-da-da. I'm like, girl, like, it's okay. Like, I'm the last person to judge. The only person that can judge me is God and the person in the courtroom. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like, if you have that mindset, no, but I'm saying,
you
get what I'm saying? I was like, I'm not going to let other people judge me. You get what I'm saying? I'm becoming open-minded and open-hearted. But the reason why I've never felt what that female has felt, like I said, what works for me doesn't work for everyone else. I'm not here just OnlyFans is my whole life. Yeah. See, that's another thing. Some of these females and some of these males, their whole life is OnlyFans. They get up, they're doing content 24/7. They're on different websites. That's not my life. So that's why I say I have a good balance of it. I'm catching flights. I've been to over 30 countries, 49 states. You get what I'm saying? Like, I get to live a whole different life. And where OnlyFans, like, that's a whole side thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said I'm happy. If I get sad, I'm gonna go catch a flight. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, my mindset and what I experience is very different. Okay. But
what? And just a quick question, like, just to get a sense of your morality. What would you, in your opinion, what would you consider like bad?
Man, if you have raped or killed somebody, I feel like, okay, like, dog.
No. Well, no. Obviously, it's we understand the crimes, like, rape.
Yeah.
We all know that's inherently bad. But what's something that you see today that a lot of people that's normalized today in today's society, but you think that, like OnlyFans, for example, right? It's normalized in America. A lot of women are doing it, but like for
Amsterdam,
me, Australia, a lot of countries are doing this.
Because like,
but for me, a lot of men and a lot of people, they will consider that bad. But even though it is legal, even though it's something that's legal. So what's something today that's legal and normalized, but you disagree with it?
Okay, because OnlyFans is legal. Prostitution is legal in Nevada. Yeah. Australia, prostitution is legal. A lot of countries have it legal. I think it's just America's different. But I feel like, so you're asking me what's something that's normalized. That
but you don't agree with it. That you think that that's not good. That's bad.
I think it just deals with social media. Other than that, I minded my business. Okay. Yeah, like social media made a lot of people have lost souls compared to someone that does OnlyFans like me and that's happy and content with life and my mindset's right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Versus people that are on social media, you're probably broke and you know what I'm saying? Like, you're probably living a whole facade, posting all this, but in reality, you don't got your shit together. Yeah. Like that. Social media type of lifestyle. Like, I'm like, dang, why you gotta do that? I be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. As long as I keep it 100 with myself, I can keep it 100 with anyone, including my parents, my siblings, because I'm highly respected in my family and highly loved. People are like, for real? I'm like, yeah, like there be other entertainers and people in the entertainment world, they'd be very jealous of the life I live. Yeah. And the one thing that's actually kept me grounded was family. Like, really, like, I'm like, wow. Like, as I'm traveling as I'm in entertainment, one thing that a lot of people wish they had was family, real support. Yeah. So as long as I have my little inner circle, I'm solid. I'm happy in life. Yeah.
Does I know you talked about your mom and dad, but does your full family really support you and people in the social circle?
Yeah, they like give me support. Like, they'll randomly text me. I have my assistant, like she's one of my best friends. Like, I literally have my vocal coach. Like, I text her, we'll FaceTime, we'll catch up, have girl talk. Like, I literally have my own little inner circle that's kept me grounded, for real. I'm very blessed. Not a lot of people have that.
Yeah. Do you think, but obviously, there's your reputation is going to be diminished from that, bit outside of your family. Mm-hmm. right? So like, have you experienced that like outside of the family when people find out that of the work that you've done on OnlyFans? Has that affected like other opportunities or how people perceive you in the social world?
No,
in public?
because the fans, I'm gonna be 100. Like the fans are couples, lesbians, lawyers, doctors, astronaut. Like I'm meeting a lot of different people that are subscribing to my content. I would never think it too, but then as I'm realizing, like there was this article I read, and this adult content creator said all adults have sex. You know, and it was true. I was like, oh my gosh. Like after I read that article and how she said it, it was just like, it just gave me a different perception. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Don't mind me. I'm always smiling. I'm always happy.
No, it's I saw this video, and one of the things that they on the video they were talking about is obviously there's a dark truth behind it. And I think the criticism you're probably going to receive, people that are watching this, that a lot of people will say that you're coping. You're coping. You're pretending because you're pretending to be happy when there's a lot of things. There's a lot of negative consequences that can affect you from the work that you do. So
no, I feel like it's not coping because I know what coping is. I studied coping for like 4 years. I was pregnant studying psychology. I feel like when I have self-awareness and high emotional intelligence on who I am as a woman in today's world, today's society, I'm definitely a proud, happy woman of who I am. I came a long way. I get to do what I want to do. Like I said, like there's things that's going on in my personal life. So I just finished all my goals, started last week. So I was like, okay, I did all my 2023 goals. So I'm really happy. See, I get to have an interview with you, you know, have a conversation. And like I said, not everyone has the luxuries that I do have. You get what I'm saying? Like family, I get to travel. I make the world my classroom. You get what I'm saying? Like not a lot of people have that. You get what I'm saying? I'm learning first-handed stuff. You get what I'm saying? I can get real political and stuff, but yeah. Anyways, what?
Okay.
But yeah, I am blessed. I'm very happy.
Okay. Do you still want to get married and find a man and start a family?
I do, but I feel like in my career, because I'm a pilot in training, so I fly planes. As I know everyone wants to see what I'm learning over here. And in my career, I feel like it's very high in demand right now. A lot of people don't know I do it unless you're like in my everyday life. And I think it's cool. Like it's a high demand. It's a lot of sacrifice what I'm doing. So I feel like I am meeting more men too. Because I remember you were saying like, do women lose more value or something like once they're doing that? I understand that. Like once, women are doing what I'm doing, you lose value. But I'm like, yeah, that could happen. But like, if I know my value and what I bring to the table and stuff like that, like I know damn well, like there's men out there that want to marry me. But I do want to get married. Just not right now. Well,
I would push back. There's always a guy out there that's willing to marry you. Right.
I know. I got to text him back.
Okay. But
I got to text him back. Give him a chance. This is my sign.
But here's the problem. If you ask most women, what type of man you want, right?
Yeah. Here we go. You're going to ask that question.
Well, most women will list qualities that represent a good, strong man, a good provider, protector.
Yeah.
And they would also list values, a man that has good values and morals, right?
Yeah.
Loyal, integrity, committed, right? Humble, right? All those things, all those qualities that they want out of the man. I think the issue is if you are in the sex work industry, the reason why the good men, the good strong men that most women would want, they're looking for the exact same values in you. And for a lot of men, being in the sex industry and having that past is not a reflection of the values that they have, and that's why a lot of those guys will avoid you. But the guys that would give you a chance are usually the guys who don't have a strong sense of morals and values. And you might give him a chance, and you might try him out for a little bit, but over time, that he's not the type of man that you will look up to and that is going to inspire you, and you probably end up leaving him anyway.
That's true.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. Women want a man that you can look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't want someone that, oh my gosh, I'm not learning from him. I want mental stimulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you understand that? Do you understand that most the good guys out there that be a great husband, a great father, committed to you? Do you understand that the history or the work that you did on adult, it's gonna repel them, that they won't give you a chance?
You think so?
I believe so.
You believe so?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, I feel like it's so different. I feel like it depends on the situation. I'm so upfront about my past. I be telling my upbringing, where I come from, what I do, who I am.
Yeah.
And like, as long as I'm 100 and I keep it blunt, because a lot of women sometimes won't be, like their intentions. That some women just want something physical, or you want some money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell him what I want. Like, don't waste my time, because I can get back anything: new family, new cars, new houses, new everything. You can never get new time back. So I tell him I can't get no new time. Are you wasting mine or what?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you understand, like,
I do understand.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with it. I do understand. See, it's different because I have the mindset where I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not like gonna go argue back and forth.
Yeah.
But I do understand. I do comprehend what you're saying.
Have you already come to the acceptance that if you do decide to go in a relationship, that you probably have to settle with a man that's lesser?
Why would you say that like that? Lesser.
Yeah.
Define lesser. Like
a guy that's not a good man, because a good man would have high standards for himself and would have high standards of his woman, and a woman that's creating OnlyFans content is not a reflection of a woman that has high standards. Right. So a man that's willing to tolerate or accept your behavior and your past is a man that would have to compromise his high standards to be with you. But I think that if you notice if you're with a man that compromises his standards, I think for most women, you understand that that's a man that you won't respect, because he's not the type of man that's willing to fight for what he believes in.
No, I've been meeting men where they're just like, retire.
What do you mean?
Like when I say, oh, I've done this, and they're like, oh no, I'm gonna just take care of you. And I'm just like, dang, I never believed that like there's men out there that actually talk like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, I just don't want you to do certain things that I wouldn't want my woman doing. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But they don't just like deny me. They actually say a whole different conversation. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is the real deal. And then like I try to get to know them. I feel like some men that are protectors and providers like that, like they got control issues.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold up. Like, you're not my daddy. You're not finna pay my bills and do this for me. Like, love is not supposed to be transactional. Love's supposed to be unconditional. Yeah. So I do meet amazing, great men. Yeah. But I just be picky now. Like I told you, like off record, I was telling you I was dating NFL players, multimillionaires, like dating where like I'm engaged and stuff like that. Yeah. I feel like it just depends like on the man, because I meet men that aren't insecure. They're like, okay, like that's your past. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I get what you're saying. Like I would feel like kind of scared to tell them, because you don't know how a man's going to react. It's either like, dang, they're going to go crazy off the wall and say some off the wall shit, or they're gonna be understanding. They're gonna like, oh, okay, like, do you do it now? Like, like ask her and make a whole conversation out of it. Yeah. Or I'm gonna get the like, men are easy. Like you guys can, give it up real easy. And I'm like, dang.
Well, men with those standards,
I was like, ooh, I'll be curious too. I'm like, hey.
Well, men with low.
I'm like, let's get out the way. I want to see something.
Well, men with low standards, they're easy. Men with high standards.
So you're saying you're a man of high standards, Will?
I consider myself as a man that I try to. I carry myself with high standards for myself.
Yeah.
And the type of woman that I would go to is I would expect the same standards that I have that she reflects with her.
Yeah.
But I guess the conversation I would ask you is, so if the men with high standards, the men with good values, right? They're always thinking about, okay, they want to make sure that their woman is having the same standards that's going to be reflection of him. Obviously, for guys, we care about a woman's past. You know, that's
Yeah.
if you talk to most guys, that's understandable, right? We want to make sure we don't want our women to, we don't want our women to be around with other men.
Right.
We don't want that. We don't also want that reputation to go out for to know that, hey, I wifed up somebody that has a whole past, right? So for a lot of guys, we lose respect not only for ourselves, but they lose respect with other men and how people look at you, because your woman is going to be an extension of you as a man.
No, totally true.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've gone through situations where I've seen men defend women that they're dating, and I respect those men too.
Like what situation? Like what do you mean?
Like, because you said women that have a past or anything like that. I've seen people who are like, that's who I love. That's the person who I love. I've witnessed a couple situations like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I respect a man that's like, that's the person I love. That's who I'm laying in bed with. And like, you know, I understand. I'm saying I do understand where you're coming from. But I'm saying, like, I have such an open mind that I see the other side of it too, you know. Like,
But you know why those guys end up wifing or being in relationships with those types of women? You know why?
Why?
Because
are you asking me?
Yeah, you know why, right?
Why?
Because a lot of women will use that example. I've seen other guys, they still wife a girl that has a past, and then use that example to give them inspiration that there's a possibility for them they'll be able to find a man. But usually the guys that do end up wifing, and that's why I said lesser man, is those guys don't really have options like that.
You think so?
I promise you, if a man had options, and
I feel like male have options.
Only the high quality, good quality men have.
That's true.
The men that are the best, they have the best provider protectors. They're the most attractive, and they have the qualities that most women are looking for. So these guys are pursued by all women. So they have options. Now the guys on the bottom, they don't really have options like that. So if they finally meet a pretty girl that's pretty for him, and that's his only option, he knows in his hands, like, look, I may never get this chance again.
Dang.
So he won't be able to walk away from that relationship. So he has to compromise to be with her, even though she has a past, even though he knows he doesn't like it. But what else? What other option does he have?
He can have options.
Yeah.
Just be single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why there's like I said before, there's always going to be a guy out there that's willing to take you.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the type of guy that you really, really want, that you're going to look up to, that you're going to respect, that is going to be a great reflection of being a good dad, a good husband. Usually the guys who are just willing to tolerate and accept that bad behavior, those guys, there's something wrong with those guys. And you're going to find out when you go in a relationship with them.
Right. I'm going to test it out right now. I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him, like, what's up?
Yeah, because it's not natural. Most guys, they do care to some degree. They do care to some degree of a woman's sexual behavior and how she's performed in the past.
Yeah.
But if you have an option, and if you worked on yourself as a man, you can get it. If not, then.
Now, some guys are just like, you're lying. You don't do OnlyFans. I'm like, I do. I've done it. They're like, no, you don't. You don't look like it. I'm like, dang, for real. Like, I think because like the way I have conversations with men, that's like way different. It's not like I'm shallow. I'm not stuck up. It's not ABC type of conversations. It's like it's actual legit conversation where it's mentally stimulating. So I feel like it depends.
Have you ever dated a man that was considered a good man, a man with high standards, a man with good morals, values?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes those men be the ones that are like hypocrites.
Well, if he was a hypocrite, then that wouldn't make him a good man.
So he's not.
Yeah, that would be.
Because I
wasn't a good man.
Till later, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever met men like that? Like men with just like good, strong values?
No, I do. I be breaking their hearts.
Standards. Why?
Because I always tell them my lifestyle and what I'm doing right now, I'm like a full-time student. Like, I'm not going to be here to cater to you, because there's 5 love languages. And I be real with them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I do want to have quality time, spend time with you. But like, I'm literally doing stuff in the skies. I'm studying, because at the end of the day, men do want quality time and physical touch with women. You get what I'm saying? To build a bond. And I'd be honest with them. I was like, I can't do that right now. I'm literally like working so hard right now in my life,
Yeah.
So yeah. Dang.
Yeah. So
I was like, I could be like those people that don't got no life, nothing. I'm busy. You know, get what I'm saying? Because nowadays we're like, we have a roster, the MVP, the water boys, the bench warmers. I could have that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But in reality, I'm like, that is too much time. Like, I got to text all these guys and call and link up. It's tiring. Like, why am I going to spend all my energy with other men when I could just be by myself, work on myself as a woman, work on my career, what I'd love to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like this is my selfless year.
You also understand, like, because I know you have a child, so you're a single mom, right?
No, I'm not.
You're in a relationship.
No, I'm not in a relationship.
Oh,
wait, well, you keep saying single parent. I was like, damn.
Well, if you're not in a relationship, then you're single.
I am single, but I'm not a single parent because my kids be with their dad full time.
Okay, but are you in a relationship with your?
Oh, because dad, no.
No, okay.
No.
So you would be considered just by
single,
definition
single daddy,
single dad and
single mama,
single mom, right? So you ever thought about that? That also will take in consideration. Men will also take that in consideration if they wanted to take you seriously and marry you.
No, you're right, because a lot of them ask, like, do you have kids?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh. Like, they'll be like, wow, like we'll actually have talks.
Yeah.
Because there's guys out there that are good men and all of that, but they don't have kids too. And I'm like, their value's higher than the guys that probably got 3 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? Was that where you were going with this? I'm sorry.
Oh no, the reality is that most guys, they only want to, because most guys, if you go in a relationship, the role that you're probably gonna play majority of the time, no, stepdaddy. You need your stepdad.
What? Because I have a stepdad. I love my stepdad. He's one of my best friends.
No, it's the role that most men play in a relationship is going to be the financial provider protector. That's usually their role. And for most men, we rather do that for our own children. Yeah. Right. It's really, for a lot of men, it's really, really hard to.
It's hard
to take that responsibility.
You're right, because I had to leave a relationship
for a kid that's not yours, right?
Yeah.
So that's how a lot of men see it.
Yeah.
So if they come to you, is like if they want to date you and marry you and take you long term,
the whole package.
You come with the package, so that's why a lot of guys, the guys with the options, the good men, they would avoid it. But the guys who don't really have options like that, they would have. If single mom is the only type of woman that you could attract, they'll just take it. But obviously, that you're looking for. I'm sure there's guys out there that are probably texting you, trying to get with you.
Yeah, they're blowing me up. Where you at? I'm like, oh, I'm with this guy named Will.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What's up, everybody? All right. So, and then obviously you still declined all those guys, right? Because like
I be going on dates. Like I was going on dates this week. Like I just be I am the prize. You know, like I be telling them, like, I know my worth. I do. You know what I'm saying?
What's your type?
I knew he was going.
No, because this is the reality. A lot of girls will say this. Oh, I go on dates, and I get a lot of attention from men, which is cool. Like I told you before, the weak men are giving, the lesser men, the low quality men are giving attention, because if it was really the man that you would wanted, your type, you would have.
No, it would be taking a minute to go on dates with me. Look how long it took us just to link up on this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
A year. One guy has been waiting 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Is if you would have met your type, the man that you really, really wanted, you would have been with him already.
No, I feel like I'm old school. A lot of the men that are approaching me is on social media.
I know.
And I'd be like, oh, send me a voice message. I'm sorry, I don't do texting. I'm like,
I know, but you have a type. Because if you don't, what's your type? What's your type?
Man, I knew you was gonna ask this. You're gonna say like, I'm not into polys. I thought about it. I thought about this whole week.
Everybody has a type.
I thought about it this whole week. My answer changed. While I was thinking about it, it was like, who do I see myself marrying? It's probably not a poly.
Okay, so it's not poly.
Non-poly.
So break down that man. Like, what does he look like?
Dang, I don't know. He got to be taller than me. I'm short, so I'm 5'3".
So what's your preferred height?
And I don't have a preferred height. I'm 5'3".
Every woman has a preferred height.
I've been dating guys that are like, one was 5'9".
No, what's your preferred height? Well, what do you?
Taller than me. That's the answer.
You don't.
That's
what's the minimum height? Yeah, what's the minimum height that you can't date?
Oh my gosh, I don't want them to be 5'7", at least 5'9".
Okay, so
See, I'm not
at,
big enough.
so at least 5'9".
Yeah,
So
'cause
5'9".
I'm short.
Okay,
I can still wear heels.
5'9" and above.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he have to be physically fit?
No,
Okay. Can he be fat?
not super fat.
Okay, like what?
I like big boys.
Oh, just like healthy.
Because that mean he gonna eat with me.
Okay,
Because
just
there's some guys where they don't eat. I'm like, oh my god.
like a dad bod.
Yeah.
Dad bod.
Yeah.
Okay, so not physically fit, but not fat, but just dad bod.
Yeah.
Okay. What about his mindset? What kind of mindset do you?
Man, the mindset's going like, if you can stimulate my mind and we're not having basic conversations, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I might actually want to hang out with you again.
Okay.
It's rare.
So you want a man that's gonna be able to have enough experience and knowledge in the world where you guys can
like
have
a wise
a wise man, wisdom, experience, knowledge, and you guys can have really deep conversations.
Yeah, because I told you the 5 questions I'd be asking is like credit score, who'd you vote for, passport, do you have kids or want more kids, and what was my other one? I forgot.
What credit score. So what credit score do you want him to have?
No, I just say that just so I see where they're going. Like some of them like, damn, you want my social? And I'd be hella laughing. Like, because just to see where the conversation is gonna go.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? That's just the icebreaker.
So if he had terrible credit, he told you had terrible credit.
Yeah, because some guys be blind. I'm like, okay, I would give you a chance just because you were 100 with yourself.
Okay.
Some people aren't. They're like, oh, what? That's too personal. Da 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 da. And I'm like, nah, dog. You like, I'm not asking for your whole social and stuff. I'm just asking for your credit score.
You said political. Who you vote for? Does that matter to you?
Yeah, who you vote for? It does. That's why I be selective. I'm like, who did you vote for? Because their answers be crazy.
So what's your party?
I'm my own party. But it's just like, it depends. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just crazy.
Well, you don't have to say your party, but are you in the middle? Are you left? Are you right?
I'm in the middle.
In the middle?
And I think people in my family like that too. Because it was funny during the pandemic.
Okay.
It's very funny.
If who do you agree most as far as, you don't have to agree with everything, but which side do you agree the most when it comes to their values and the things they believe in the political party? Would it be the Democrats or the conservatives? Who do you lean more towards to? Obviously, you're in the middle, but obviously people lean more to one side and the other, even though you're not that side.
I was once upon a time a Democrat.
Okay.
Like I would lean all the time. Now, but that was from firsthand learning.
Yeah.
We're learning from textbooks, Instagram, Facebook. But once I went into the streets and I learned in real political situations and went to rallies and I was a senator at Laney and stuff like that. Like I was like, oh wow, this is the real world. This is what people are doing. This is what bills are going to. I have a brother that worked at the White House. So it's like, oh, this is where, this is where it matters. Because me and him were debating like crazy.
Okay. So now you're leaning towards conservative side?
Yeah, kind of.
You're definitely not conservative.
I know. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, I'm going to be honest, a lot of people that are conservative that I met, I'm old school. I went like into rallies in person. I was like, oh, wow, you guys are crazy just like me. Like, like different,
I would consider you Democrat.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because you're more open. Open, and especially the work that you do, that would be more.
I'm blue and red.
That'll be more.
Is that purple?
I don't know. So okay, all right. So going back to the type that you have, okay, it's 5'9", deep knowledge to be able to stimulate your mind.
It has its own career. And family oriented. Because I've seen I've dated with mommy issues, or they're not close to their moms, and I'm letting that slide.
Yeah.
I've let it slide 3 times.
Family,
like,
okay, so family, family man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What about his ability to provide, like, as far as his financial income? Does he have to meet you in the same level, higher, or could he be lower, or could he depend on you to pay for the bills?
Oh no, he's not depending on me. My dad would come and ruin this whole engagement, this whole thing.
So does he have to be the same level?
Same level or higher. I feel like, like if I see him going somewhere, because women have asked me this, and I said I've had both. Do you want a man that's had it all already set up and you just get into the picture, or would you have a man you can build up with? I said it really, really depends on the situation, the man that you're dating,
You don't have to say how much money you make, but is there a preferred income that you would want him to make?
Yeah, like after like being around my family, yeah, you definitely gotta make
At least what?
6 figures.
6 figures.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 6 figures, family man, knowledge, experience to be able to stimulate your mind. Obviously, he has to be ambitious, right?
Yeah.
Family man, and then of course 5'9" and above, and dad bod. Not fat, but not physically fit.
Because I've been getting all the guys that are so skinny too.
Okay.
It's I'm dating in this pool and it's very different.
Okay. Does he have to be good in bed?
I feel like, yeah, you do, because I'm not gonna be complaining. We're not gonna have you in a group chat.
Okay. Damn.
I don't be having a group chat, but yeah.
Okay. So do you understand that that man that you just described, do you understand how rare that is to have all those qualities in one man? Yeah. Besides the height, 5'9".
But I feel like, remember, for me, my dating pool's way differently. You get what I'm saying?
Well, your dating pool is different.
So if someone was dating someone in their same city, same state, then I'm like, okay, sis, you ain't got no options, girl. Like, but me, it's like, hence why I asked for the passport.
Yeah.
Hence, you get what I'm saying? Like,
but this is the confusion. This is the confusion a lot of girls are. So you mentioned 5'9", dad bod. That works. A lot of guys have that.
yeah.
But a man that's 6 figures, America, only 20% of both men and women make that. It's 20%. So your dating pool is 20% of America. And I'm assuming in the world it's probably the same or lower.
Yeah.
Or so that's your dating pool, 20% or lower. Then he has to have enough knowledge, experience that he can be able to stimulate your mind.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
Do you think most men have that? No.
Yeah, because the ones I'm dating, that tells. When I said that, that means I'm not dating anyone younger. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so they have to. I know they're
hey,
older.
I'm dating my age and up.
Only men would experience. They have to be older. They won't be a younger guy.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it depends.
All right. And also, he has to be a good man. Has to be a family man.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The thing is, like that type, that man that you're describing, that's rare.
You think so?
It is so. Because here's how I know so. Here's how I know.
How you know?
Because if you would have found them, you would have been with them already.
You think so?
Yes.
I just told you I can't. I feel like deep down, I know I can't commit right now in my life.
It doesn't matter. When it comes to our type, the man or woman that we really want,
you think so?
As soon as they walk into your life,
I should give dating a chance. Huh?
That when we meet our type, the one that we really want, you're gonna. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You're gonna accept them. You're gonna take them.
Really?
It's just, I promise. If you met your type, everybody has a type. If you meet them, if that's your type, if that's what you really want, that's not the type of man that you want. You would have both men and women do this, because guys have a type of girl they really want to be with.
No, because every guy I be dating, they be tripping where I be going.
What I'm saying from your standpoint is, if you would have met your type man, the man that is your type, you would be with him right now at this moment. But the fact that you're not with any man right now, that's how I know that you haven't met a man that fulfilled all those requirements of had everything.
I got a potential. This whole podcast made me want to text him back.
Potential?
I'm like, all right, let me come fly out to him. Like, let me go see Tati real quick.
Yeah. but here's what I'm trying to explain to you.
No, this whole I'm saying the questions you're asking, I'm like, dang, I have that guy. Like I have, like I was thinking of one guy, and I'm like, dang, like.
Let me ask you. So that guy that you just thought about, right? Has he shown any kind of commitment, interest towards you?
Yeah, and I feel bad.
Like he did? He wanted to commit to you? Yeah,
and I feel bad. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I should go see him.
Like commitment, like marriage, like he wanted to be in a.
Yeah, like we're talking about marriage and kids and like.
Why haven't you been with him?
Oh my god, my guys, my life a little different right now.
Well, when you say potential,
at least he's open. Like
when you say potential, that means that you don't really know for sure that he has those qualities. So you're just
no. I'm saying potential. Like I should give him a chance, like full time. But it just sucks because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm always.
But do you know for sure that he has all those qualities that you just mentioned right now?
Oh yeah,
you know for sure.
Surely. Shoot.
I know.
I know. Now you make me feel bad. Now I'm like, dang, I'm finna text him.
I disagree.
It's 9:30 over here, so it's like.
No, I don't know. I think he doesn't really have everything you say.
He does.
No, because if he did, you'll be with him right now.
I would have flown to him, but I wanted to do this interview instead. I would have flown to Japan.
Okay. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you.
No, I understand. I'm just fucking with you. I love fucking
You're playing?
with you.
You're playing? So you're just playing.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay.
Come on, relax. You a little tense over there.
No, I'm good.
He needs another cup.
Yeah, let's do another cup.
Okay. You need another cup. Like, there's barely anything to. I told you we were just gonna need another one.
Yeah, as always, thank you for watching, everybody on the pod.
So how long you been single, Will?
I've been single for a minute now.
Dang, and you doing a whole podcast about this
Yeah.
for a minute.
Now you can use that for the rest for yourself.
Okay, cool. Define a minute. How long is a minute?
Well, I haven't been in a committed relationship. You know, I still have relations, but
Relations? What
Yeah.
kind? Physical?
physical relations.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't been in a committed relationship probably 7 years.
How long?
7.
Damn! Oh my God. Well, I know why you single. Oh no. 7 years?
Last time, yeah.
Ooh, damn.
It's been a while.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
But now I feel like you're the female that you need is someone that's not gonna trip off your podcast. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need someone that's gonna trip off that.
Well, the good thing about me is I have time. You know, the biological clock of a man is different from a woman.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you guys have to get you guys have to figure out your family and what type of man you want by 30. After
Right.
30, it gets really hard. But the good thing about being a man is when you're hitting 30, and especially if you're working on yourself, like, you know, you're
Yeah.
hitting your prime. So I think I'm 2 years away from my prime. I think 35 that's gonna be the
Really?
where I'm probably
Right.
gonna settle down and find a woman.
You
But
were
for-
single for 7 years.
But for right now, I'm just working on
You're working on yourself.
working on myself. We're working on what I want to accomplish.
Yeah. Let's still work on yourself.
Yeah.
Where you want to be in life. Because men, you guys have to have your shit together before you can really date and commit to a female.
Not really.
I feel like that,
Not
yeah.
really, not really.
I feel like, yeah. Like women compared to women. Women could still get their shit together and then the man will be like, they'll understand and be okay with it. Compared to men, yeah. Gotta have your shit together.
Most women would prefer the man to have their shit together before they go in a relationship. Or if he doesn't have his shit together, he's actually working progressively to fix his life.
Mm-hmm.
But most women don't want a bum and don't want a guy that has
Right.
it's not going to go anywhere in his life. Right?
Dang.
But to go back to from the conversation we had, the man, that's why the man that you explained, your type, right?
Mm-hmm.
That man that has all those qualities, that would be considered a very rare and a very attractive man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women will consider him a high value man.
Uh-huh.
So that man that you just described is the man that most women would want, and he would have a lot of options. So if you had a choice between you know, being a single mom and the work that you do,
Uh-huh.
and a woman that just a single woman, young woman that has nothing that's opposite of what you do for yourself. If you had that option, most guys, especially in his level, would choose the opposite, the other girl. No, it won't choose you.
You think so?
I know so.
You know so?
Yeah, that's why like the probability of finding a guy. It's because I'm a probability guy. I would never say never. I would just say it's low.
It's low.
It's low.
Get low.
But that's why get low. But that's why I say is if a man's willing to take on whatever you have, and especially what you talked about in this podcast, or your career, OnlyFans, adult content, having a child, if he's willing to take that on, I would question like his motivation of why.
Yeah, like his motives. Like, why are you interested?
And I know for a fact that he probably doesn't have options, because if he did have an option, he would take it.
You think so?
The same way you would do the same thing. If you had a guy that's your type,
Mm-hmm.
and you had a guy that's opposite of your type,
Mm-hmm.
who would you take if you had an option?
It depends.
Stop,
What I want.
Stop capping.
What I
You
want
take
from
your
the
type.
other type.
Logically,
Oh yeah. Logically,
You
yeah.
take your
I'm gonna
type.
take my type.
right? But if you remove that guy that's your type, and you have 3 other guys or 4 or 5 other guys that has 1 or 2 qualities of your type,
Yeah.
but they don't have all of it, but they have 1 or 2 qualities.
Build a man workshop. Sounds
Yeah. So
good.
then you have to
that someone need to create that.
exactly. Then you will have to settle for
Shoot, I'll build
eventually.
my whole man right here.
So because you don't have that option, because you don't have the option of that type,
Mhm.
then you have to figure out which one you're gonna
Settle with. You're right.
Yeah.
Because what I'm asking for realistically, I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's just I'm dating Casper at this point.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: do you deserve that man?
I do deserve a great
Why
man.
do you think you deserve that type? The man that you want. Why do you think you deserve it?
Because I think today's society, a lot of people that I see like settling down, I'm like, wow, like I mean, people where I feel like, oh my gosh, like you were the one that was team single forever.
Yeah.
I'm more of like, oh my gosh, realistically, I just want the baby, just not the baby daddy. But then I'm like, okay, realistically, I want my kids to have like, 2 parents in their lives and stuff like that. But yeah, I do deserve a great man because I'm a great woman. Like I am the shit. Like I deep down have a good heart, great attitude. I'm literally my own self-motivator. Yeah, I have good things going for me. Like,
How do you determine that you're a great woman?
Elaborate.
Like, what makes you think that you're like
My personality, my mindset.
yeah,
Because not a lot of people have the mindset that you can do whatever you can.
yeah,
Like I feel like if you don't have confidence in yourself, like say we're in a whole room. I tell people I don't care how much money you got, who you know, like what your experience is, but my attitude in this room once I come in is gonna take me further than anyone else in the room.
I try to frame it this way because the type of man that you want, right? Obviously, we discussed that he has a lot of options.
Right.
So, what's gonna make you different from all the other girls for him to choose you and for you to believe that you deserve him?
It's really how a woman makes the man feel. Any man that like I'm like in a committed relationship with, I make him feel like he's the man. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like men with high value, they don't want a woman that's nagging, bad attitude. Like, do I make sense or do I not make sense? I feel like that because you don't want a partner that's like diminishing who you are. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like realistically in today's world, that's what's going on with dating. Like we're picking bad partners that we know damn well isn't good for us, but we're settling with them, going through arguments that are toxic, uncomfortable conversations we can't settle. Like I'm a problem solver. So I want my man to be a problem solver with me. It's us versus the issues, not us versus each other. You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't get what
really?
you're saying. No.
Like, yeah, because like I can adapt too. Like a lot of people don't have, I feel like women don't have that sometimes.
Well, let's establish this. So
what?
Obviously we both know that most guys, the guys who have options, a guy that's high value, that's considered high value to most women. These guys will prefer a woman that doesn't have the past that you have or not doing the work that you're doing. And of course, not having children. So we already established that already. So if that's what you're going to bring to the table to this high value man, when he has options of women who don't have those things,
right?
What are you going to do for him to compensate for that? For him to overlook the other girls that
I bring a man peace. Okay.
How do you bring him peace?
I'm the last woman that I don't bring a man problems. Like I said, I'm a problem solver.
A problem solver.
Yeah.
Like what kind of problems?
Because people have issues. Like you get what I'm saying? Because it's not just about finances, but like emotions, things you're going through, opportunities. Like, should I take this job? Should I not? Like, you get what I'm saying? I want to learn something new hobbies, or should I take this job? Should I move to a different city? Like a lot of things that people in adulthood, like what we go through, and sometimes we're breaking up. Like, because I've seen people break up, like it was either long distance, you got cheated on. Like, people sometimes physically cheat because there was a disconnect. You get what I'm saying? Like mentally or emotionally with the couple. You get what I'm saying?
No, because I've never heard.
What?
I've never heard guys talk about that.
Really?
like being I never heard a masculine man, a man that's I would consider high quality. I never heard him say I'm looking for a woman that can be
No,
a
not like
solver.
a problem solver. Like, of course, that's more of a man thing.
Yeah.
But like, just be a problem solver with him. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not Mrs. I know it all, but like, usually men do have problems, and y'all like have it to each other where you keep it inside. And I'm just like, I feel like I make people comfortable to tell me anything and everything.
Yeah. The reason why I asked you, like, do you deserve it? I think a lot of women believe they deserve a high quality man. But the thing is, a lot of the qualities or the things that you guys bring to the table aren't exactly what men are looking for.
Right.
And
I feel like I'm submissive. I'm very submissive. Yeah. See, I feel like that's another thing. Like I've learned with dating, some guys are telling me, they're like, yeah, she didn't submit or she didn't let me do my role. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's really crazy. Yeah. Because I feel like
a lot of men won't. I think for most men who watch you or they watch your content or they watch your lifestyle, most men won't think you're submissive.
Really? Yeah, they won't.
Because of your independent lifestyle. Yeah.
That's the way you say it. No, I'm very submissive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like once you get to know me, and I like the men that want to get to know me past Instagram, past, OnlyFans. They're like, I really actually want to get to know you, like pick your brain. Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so open-minded to that. We can hang out. Like I'd be really cool down to earth to hang out with people. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very submissive. I think that's one of my downfalls. I'm like, I need to stop being too nice.
No, it's not being nice. I think submissiveness is when you find a man that you feel like that he can provide you absolute emotional safety. I think for women, you just want to feel safe, and security from the man that you're with. And then I think if you find a man that's willing to provide that for you and he's earned that, then you're going to naturally submit to him. Yeah. But the problem is for you is like you don't show that at all with your lifestyle. And
you think so?
Right, because you're very independent. You have an independent mentality.
But I don't be like everyone else saying, I don't give a fuck. I don't need no man. Like you never once heard
you travel the world. You're on your own. So when they look at you and your lifestyle, it's like you're going places. You're making money. You're in your ambition, hustling.
No, mentality. But I don't mind to share my life with
I know, someone. But what I'm saying is that's how they perceive you.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's how they see you. So
really.
You see the independence. That's not really something that the first thing they look is because submissive women are not living a very independent lifestyle. They're looking for a man to come and.
No, I be telling them I'm looking for my husband. He's out there. Yeah. He's either locked up or
locked up.
Right. I was talking shit.
I know what I was saying.
I be talking shit. Maybe I should do a pen pal, huh?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. But yeah, we have appreciate you guys have been watching for the entire time. I appreciate it. But I guess for the deserve part, and just to end it off, and then we can get our closing thoughts. I believe we deserve. I've heard that phrase, right? People would say it. I deserve this. I deserve this. I believe that you only deserve something if you're willing to work for it.
Yeah.
Right, and earn it, right? So, from the relationship standpoint, if you believe you deserve a high quality man, then you have to work on yourself to make sure that what you're providing of equal value that is something that high quality man is looking for.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, I would disagree for you that you deserve a high quality man, because a lot of the things that you're talking about and what you're bringing is not necessarily what most high quality men are looking for.
Okay, what are they looking for so I can take some notes?
What we already established it already is the morality and the values, right? So most men are looking for a woman with high standards, and the most important thing with the standard is how you express your sexuality. Yeah. So for a lot of guys, when they see you and what you've done, especially with the OnlyFans, a lot of them was like, that's not a high quality standard, especially a woman that's willing to go in that industry. Right. So that's not a good reflection on her. That's not a good reflection on me. So that's not something that he is looking for in a woman. So that would deter a lot of men from, especially the high quality men. So that's one thing that's gonna be at your disadvantage. and it's gonna be not gonna attract those guys.
You think so?
I know so. But like I said, when it's gonna be slim. I'm not gonna say I'm a probability guy. I'm not saying that I never say never, but the probability of finding a guy with high standards is not willing to, because the men that you're looking for, they don't compromise on their standards at all.
Right, they don't.
All right. So if we already established already that they want a woman that is she doesn't express her sexuality like that, they're never gonna budge on that, especially with the options they have. So that's why I think it's slim, very slim.
You think so? I don't think my options are slim.
You do have options.
I do.
All right, I know that.
Now I'm like, dang, now I'm looking at my list, my roster. I'm like, dang, I really do have great men.
I wouldn't say great, but you have men.
No, I'm saying I've dealt with the ones that ain't shit. I'm like, oh my gosh, like you ain't shit, like kick you to the curb real quick. But then now you make me think of like, oh my gosh, there's high value men out there. Because I'm really like a men's girl. Like
what do you
like I'm really here for men. You get what I'm saying? Because lately when I
define a high value man.
We did, like, we did. Oh my, he just has to have a great mindset to lead. If a great man can lead, I can submit, I can let him lead and trust him. You lead, I follow, and anything financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually.
Yeah.
A high value man's out there.
What were the core values of that high value man? What are the values of the high quality man?
The values.
What values? Exactly my point.
I really want him to be family oriented. I think I'm simple. I feel like at this point in my life, I feel like I'm simple now.
Yeah. But nevertheless,
the relationship that lasted the longest was the best. Oh no, all my relationships have been 2 to 3 years, long term. They've never really been short term. But yeah.
2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What's your longest relationship?
About almost a year.
Dang, for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But that was long. That was a long time ago.
And what'd be the main reason you be breaking up with these females?
The main reason?
Yeah.
No,
is it a mutual breakup or is it?
No, just to be honest with you, it's my mindset for me is I've always, ever since I got here to America, I've always wanted to do something for my life.
Yeah.
And for me, I've been working probably 80 hours a week since I got out of college.
Yeah.
I've always been hustling. The problem is for me is I don't have the traditional. I think a lot of the women in the past, they want the traditional relationship where it's a normal relationship with a guy. But obviously for me is.
But you have entrepreneur grind hustle.
Yeah, so my mentality is a lot different. And
yeah.
A lot of the girls they're expecting me to be like the normal.
The normal kind,
normal
9 to
kind.
5.
But also this. I had to. What's the best way to say it? I had to hide that part of my go-getter dream, big dreams mentality, so that way I could fit in.
Dim your light.
Yeah, dim my light a little bit. And that's why I felt bad.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing against the girls. All those girls were okay, but I wasn't. I had to change my version of myself so that way they're okay with it. But I just didn't feel good because that's not who I really was.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You sticking to being single.
So, yeah. So I did. It took some work, but I've decided, you know what, this is who I am. I'm gonna live this life.
Yeah.
If a woman has a problem with it, it is what it is. Yeah. But the woman is gonna be good for me is just accepts me and what I'm trying to do,
right?
And compliment it.
And she's out there.
I know she's out there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we've come to the end of the pod. Thank you so much, everybody that's watching this right now. We had a great conversation, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Boss Lady. No, thank you for having the open conversation, right? I know we had a real open conversation, and there's a lot of things you shared your perspective, I shared my perspective. I agree, disagree. Yeah. You allowed me to ask some hard questions and uncomfortable questions that most people, especially people in your industry, wouldn't want to have and engage in. So I appreciate the honesty, the openness to have this conversation. and being a Tongan woman to talk about this.
Right.
So thank you for that. And I know.
Thank you for having me.
I know you took time. I know you're a busy woman. You know, you got things to do and moves to make, but you made time to come on here.
Yeah.
And just spend a few hours on a Friday night. And
He was persistent.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You got to. I really wanted you to come on and just be part of the pod. But I'll pass it back to you. Everybody that's watching this right now, what is your final thoughts? And also, I want to ask you this before you share your final thoughts. But from this conversation that we had today, I know I questioned you a lot of things, especially how people perceive and the things that you do with your work. Did anything change for you, or did anything you're going to take away from this podcast? And be like,
man, it was mostly the dating. Like, let me give my little booski a chance. Out of this whole conversation, it was more like, oh dang, let me give this man a whole chance because he's over here texting me and I'm over here leaving him on red.
Okay.
Now I'm like, okay, I have a great high valued man. And I'm like, you know what? Without risks, there's no rewards in this game of life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I doubt it, but
shut you. You're annoying.
But keep me updated.
Right. You never know. I might be getting married in a different country.
Yeah,
you never know.
Keep me updated if it really is a high value man. We'll see. Okay.
You're annoying.
But boss lady, what's your final thoughts for everybody that's watching and was part of the live stream today?
My final thoughts is just thank you for having me. I feel like if people come on your podcast more open-minded, open-hearted, it'll be cool. I feel like, especially Polly's. Yeah. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. All right. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget. We do have a locals community page. So if you guys want to support me and on my podcast, subscribe. The link is in the description of the video. You can subscribe to that locals community page where I post exclusive content, and you have special perks, direct access to me, and of course, one of the great perks of being on the locals that you can be part of a podcast, the Friday night shows and the Saturday night shows. So don't forget, tomorrow is my Saturday After Dark pod. I have 8 ladies coming in tomorrow to talk about dating and relationships. I know a lot of you guys are single, so you guys can jump on and enjoy that show. And definitely tap in for the Wednesday Hot Topics and the Thursday Masculine Mind podcast. I host different shows, whatever fits for you guys. But thank you so much. Thank you to everybody in the live chat. And I'll see you guys next time. You guys have a great night. Peace, y'all. Peace.